Yeah, definitely. Four of us. I'm with the commission and I'm going to give them
This is the showdown no one saw coming, but we've all been talking about for weeks, at least inside the ring. Just hours after trading heated words through the media, Crawford and Canelo Alvarez took their rivalry from a potential fight in the ring to an unexpected face-off at the airport. Let's get you up to speed. This all started just a few days ago. Fresh off his victory over Madoff, Terence Crawford has been vocal about wanting to fight Canelo Alvarez. During a recent Instagram Live with His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh, Crawford and Turki both called out Canelo.
Canelo next.
Yes. Let's go. Canelo, come on.
You heard it from him?
We are ready.
Yeah, just put me in the game, coach. Just put me in the game. Canelo Crawford, the biggest fight.
Since then, Crawford hasn't let up, repeatedly calling Canelo a duck for dodging serious talks about the fight. It was a clear shot at Canelo's hesitation to face him in what many believe could be one of the biggest boxing events in recent history. During a post-fight interview after Edgar Berlanga's latest match, Canelo was asked about Crawford's challenge. At first, he brushed it off with a cold no comment.
On the internet with Turki Al Sheikh calling you out, what's your response to Terence Crawford's call out tonight?
No comment.
But when pushed further, Canelo didn't hold back. He flat out dismissed Crawford's challenge, calling the welterweight champ too small and too easy for him. Canelo made it clear he didn't see Crawford as a real threat, suggesting that fighting him wouldn't even be worth his time.
Easy work. I heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was an easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you. But yet and still, he want $200 million for Benavidez, and he want $150 million to fight me. So that just lets me know right there that I'm a threat to him. I'm a threat to him.
That could have been the end of it. But for Crawford, that was the last straw. Things escalated fast when the two unexpectedly crossed paths at the airport terminal. Both fighters were with their teams, but neither seemed willing to back down, especially Crawford. Still heated over Canelo's too easy comment, Crawford reportedly confronted him, and almost instantly, things turned physical.
Low fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talk.
I went to the Canelo Berlanga fight first, then to the UFC fight, Crawford said when asked about Canelo's performance. I think Canelo put on a great show, like he always does. Canelo was Canelo. Berlanga also put on an incredible performance. He showed a lot of heart and determination, which made for a great fight. Crawford's praise for both fighters reflected his deep respect for the sport, but it also made one thing clear: his desire to face Canelo hasn't faded. Having recently moved up to super welterweight, Crawford has his sights set on Canelo as his next challenge, and according to him, he won't stop until the fight happens. The bout would take place 2 weight, classes above where Crawford usually fights, but the Omaha native isn't bothered by the size gap. His determination to face Canelo is about more than just a fight. It's about cementing his legacy in the sport. Crawford's win over Israil Madrimov marked his first full-distance fight in 8 years, leading some analysts to question whether his power might be fading as he moves up in weight. Madrimov, a tough and durable opponent, took Crawford the full distance, making it a competitive fight. While Crawford's power is still one of his greatest weapons, the bigger question is how it will hold up against someone like Canelo, who has repeatedly proven he can take the hardest punches in the sport.
At the end of the day, they're two great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, Canelo, he's a big dude. So I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing, to make the biggest fights and try.
Despite these doubts, Crawford isn't fazed. In the same interview, he made it clear that his desire to fight Canelo hasn't changed. and he believes it's the fight the world wants to see. "I've been chasing this fight. It's a legacy fight, the biggest fight in boxing today," Crawford said. "I see it as the last of the Mohicans. This fight would be massive. 2 guys in the top 3 pound for pound going head-to-head.
Power of Jamel Charlo couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Jaime Munguia couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Triple G couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Kovalev couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Berlanga couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Daniel Jacobs couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. The power of Caleb Plant couldn't phase Canelo Alvarez. ¿Qué Buck Crawford le va a hacer a ese tigre? Ustedes no vieron Buck Crawford versus Mashromov. What power did Buck Crawford have? Put me in the game, coach. No, you're the 15th man in the roster. You will sit in the bench. Well, you got...
Crawford's confidence is undeniable as he talks about the potential showdown. He acknowledges that Canelo is bigger, but instead of intimidating him, it fuels his determination. For Crawford, facing someone like Canelo is exactly what boxing is about, pushing yourself to the limit and taking on the best competition possible. "I know Canelo is bigger than me, but I'm ready for the challenge," he said. "It's all respect, but if he decides to step in the ring with me, it's going to be an electrifying fight. And of course, I'll beat him. There's no doubt in my mind, I believe I can beat anyone I step in the ring with."
This fight right here is like the last of the Mohicans. You know, we both coming in an era where Floyd Mayweather was #1 pound for pound, Showtime, and HBO era, that type of era. So I think this fight will be.
Crawford's confidence is backed by his incredible career record, but facing Canelo would be a whole new challenge. Canelo, known for his power, ring IQ, and experience, has taken down some of the best across multiple weight classes. Meanwhile, Crawford has dominated the lighter divisions, making this matchup a battle of styles, skills, and physicality. As of now, Canelo hasn't committed to his next fight. After his bout with Berlanga, he stated that he plans to take some time off with his family before making a decision, leaving the door open for several possibilities, including a potential showdown with Crawford. But things are only getting more interesting from here. Berlanga may have earned what some call a moral victory by going the distance, but for Canelo, it was another night where his power left its mark, just without the knockout his fans have come to expect. This is now the 4th consecutive fight, where Canelo has dropped his opponent but ended up winning by decision. For someone with a legacy as legendary as his, this trend has started raising eyebrows. Still, Canelo isn't fazed. "Now what are they going to say?" he said post-fight, frustration clear in his voice. The frustration of a champion constantly questioned despite his dominance. "I fight younger guys, they talk. I fight older guys, they talk. My experience, my talent, my hard work, my intelligence, all of it together makes me the best." It's almost as if Canelo has reached a point where no victory is ever enough to quiet the critics. But maybe it's not about what he's already done. It's about what comes next. The critics aren't staying quiet. Ever since his loss to Dimitri Bivol in May 2022, Canelo has faced a series of opponents who, while skilled, aren't exactly on the same level. Against Berlanga, he was a massive 1,600 favorite, and the conversation is growing. Boxing's biggest star needs a real challenge to bring back the excitement and danger that once defined his career. That's where Terence Crawford comes in. He sees himself as Canelo's next great challenge. Known for his precision, speed, and ring IQ, Crawford has compared a potential move up in weight to the legendary 1983 clash between Marvin Hagler and Roberto Duran. Except this time, he believes the smaller guy wins. "I win this fight," Crawford said with confidence. But before talks of Canelo versus Crawford can get serious, there's another fight looming over Canelo's future, a potential rematch with Dimitri Bivol. And this time, the stakes could be bigger than ever. Bivol, who outclassed Canelo in their first meeting despite the suspiciously close scorecards, is set to face Artur Beterbiev in a battle for the undisputed light heavyweight title. If Bivol wins, Canelo is already eyeing a rematch, seeking redemption and the chance to become the undisputed champion in a second weight class. And this is where things get intense. Canelo has never been one to back down from a challenge, and his loss to BRAWL still lingers in his mind. "Nothing was right for me in that fight," Canelo has said, pointing to a left wrist injury that required surgery after his third bout with Gennady Golovkin in September 2022. The idea of a fully healthy Canelo returning to settle the score is intriguing, but it also comes with serious risks. BRAWL is no easy opponent, and his dominant performance in their first fight proved just how difficult his style can be for Canelo's aggressive approach.
Canelo had the options for rematch. He didn't use it. Now he gonna fight again against someone not for me. I don't know if he wants to fight me or not, but I'm not ready for.
Even if Canelo gets his rematch, he might find himself in an unfamiliar position as the underdog. BRAWL is already a slight favorite against Beterbiev, a fighter with a terrifying 100% knockout ratio. He has the ability to beat Beterbiev, Canelo admitted, acknowledging BRAWL's skill while making it clear that his focus is only on BRAWL, not Beterbiev. But if BRAWL falls short in his upcoming showdown, the idea of a rematch with Canelo could disappear altogether. And even if BRAWL wins, there's another issue that could stand in the way: the weight class. Is there one guy on Canelo's radar? Is there one name he really wants? Maybe just the rematch, Canelo admitted. "If BRAWL wins, I want my rematch." He's set on facing BRAWL again, at 175 lbs, the weight where he originally lost. But BRAWL, having already beaten Canelo at light heavyweight, is more interested in a rematch at 168 lbs, where Canelo holds the undisputed super middleweight crown. The weight debate is a big deal. To casual fans, a few extra pounds might not seem like much, but at this level, they can change everything. Canelo, however, holds the leverage. He's boxing's biggest payday, and that alone might be enough to get BRAWL to accept his terms. Meanwhile, another name keeps coming up: David Benavidez. The young, hungry Mexican-American fighter has been calling out Canelo for years, hoping to force a fight. But despite Benavidez's solid win over Alexander Gvozdyk, albeit in a performance hampered by a hand injury, Canelo remains uninterested. "He's fighting at 175 and he doesn't look the same," Canelo shrugged. "It's different when you fight in your natural weight class." For now, a Canelo versus Benavidez fight seems unlikely. Then there's the wild card, Terence Crawford. The 37-year-old former undisputed welterweight champion recently moved up to 154 lbs, narrowly edging out a win against Ismail Madrimov, a tricky fighter many believed was underrated. Despite not looking dominant, Crawford remains confident. He wants Canelo next. The size difference is a real concern. Crawford has never fought above 154 lbs, while Canelo has spent years fighting at 168 or higher. But Crawford isn't fazed. "Being bigger doesn't win fights," he said, a statement that reflects the way he's defied expectations throughout his career. A Canelo versus Crawford showdown would be massive, arguably the biggest non-heavyweight fight in boxing today. The commercial appeal is undeniable, with fans eager to see two of the sport's best go head-to-head. Crawford, despite being the smaller man, sees this as a legacy-defining fight, one he truly believes he can win. "I feel like this is a legacy fight, and I feel like I can actually win," Crawford said. His record backs up that confidence. The idea of Crawford moving up 2 weight classes to challenge Canelo is the kind of blockbuster fight that could shake the boxing world. For Canelo, the fight is intriguing. Crawford is a proven star. But there's a catch. "If I beat him, nobody's going to give me credit," Canelo said bluntly. "They'll just say, 'Oh, he beat Crawford, but he was smaller.'" It's a fair point. However, at this stage in his career, Canelo isn't just thinking about legacy. He's thinking about the business side of boxing. If the money's right, why not? "At this moment in my career," Canelo admitted, "it has to make financial sense." Crawford knows Canelo's size and power are his biggest threats, but he doesn't seem intimidated. He believes his reach and speed will be enough to offset those disadvantages. Still, Canelo appears increasingly annoyed by the endless questions about Crawford, making it clear that if the fight happens, it will be on his terms. His $150 million price tag is proof of that. If Crawford wants the fight, he'll have to pay up. Canelo's resume speaks for itself. He's dominated across multiple weight classes, showcasing power, skill, and ring intelligence. Crawford claiming he only needs to worry about size and power feels overly simplistic. Canelo is far more than just a big puncher. He's dismantled elite opponents who thought they could outbox him, adjusting mid-fight and breaking them down. Crawford's speed and reach might help, but Canelo's ability to adapt could nullify those advantages. That said, Crawford's confidence isn't baseless. With a 41-0 record, including 31 knockouts, he's repeatedly proven he belongs among the sport's elite. He's faced and beaten bigger opponents before, and he believes that experience will help him against Canelo. But some boxing analysts think he's biting off more than he can chew. Sure, he's fought bigger guys, but Canelo isn't just a bigger guy. He's a special fighter with a blend of power, technique, and experience that Crawford has never encountered. Critics argue that Crawford's relentless pursuit of this fight isn't about legacy, it's about money. They claim he's looking for a shortcut to a massive payday rather than cleaning out his own division. There are plenty of top-tier fighters at 154 and 147 lbs who would make great matchups for Crawford, but instead of taking on the best in those divisions, he's chasing the biggest check possible. And let's be honest, the payday for fighting Canelo would be enormous. At this stage in his career, it's understandable why he'd want that kind of financial windfall, but some fans are growing tired of his campaign for a fight that feels unlikely to happen. Still, Crawford insists this fight is about more than money. He sees it as the biggest fight in boxing, the kind of matchup that defines legacies. On paper, it's an intriguing showdown. The smaller, quicker Crawford versus the bigger, more powerful Canelo. It's a classic David vs. Goliath story, one that has always fascinated boxing fans. But is this fight truly about competition, or is it just about spectacle? Does Crawford really believe he can beat Canelo, or is this just a way to secure one last massive payday? For Canelo, fighting Crawford might feel like a step backward. He's already conquered multiple divisions, taken on the best, and cemented his place in boxing history. At this point, he seems more interested in challenges that push him, whether that's avenging his loss to BRAWL or taking on dangerous opponents like David Benavidez. A fight against Crawford, a naturally smaller opponent, might not add much to his legacy, and Canelo knows that even if he wins, there will always be those who say, well, Crawford was too small. So, will this fight happen? That remains to be seen. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more boxing updates. See you in the next one.